Hello, everyone, and welcome to Three Coaches, One Topic. My name is Donna Burfield, and today I am joined by Garineh and Adele. And as always, I like to throw it over to them so they can introduce themselves and tell you a little bit about their coaching business. Over to you guys.
Adele, would you like to go first?
No, you can go first. It's fine.
All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Garineh, and I am the founder of Gratifying Wellness. I'm a board certified health and wellness coach, functional medicine, and integrative nutrition coach, plus positive intelligence coach. So I got different trainings and credentials so I could better support my clients who have chronic conditions to really break free from their limitations and experience the energy and the mental focus and the confident self-image that they are worth.
Yeah, and thank you so much, Garineh. And we actually met over, you know, autoimmune diseases, and you were doing a survey, and I put my hand up and said I would be happy to talk to you. So, and you have been such a active member of coaches supporting coaches, and our go-to health coach, and we rely on a lot.
Happy to support anytime. Yes, my pleasure.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And Adele, over to you.
Yeah, I'm the quiet one. I don't really talk a lot and I don't really enjoy introductions, but I'm Adele. I'm from Coaching Minds. I'm the program director and the supervisor on the certification course. And I also do transformational coaching. And that's basically me. I like to keep it short and sweet.
Just like you, short and sweet. And you say you don't like to talk, but you have got so much wisdom, and we've had quite a few conversations. In fact, our last Zoom call we were on for about 3.5 hours, so you can talk.
Yeah, I can. Yeah.
But thank you so much. Okay, my name's Donna Burfield, and I am a certified and accredited coach. My business is Joy and Purpose Consulting or Coaching, and I also run coaches supporting coaches here in the UAE. So I get to work with parents, a parent's parent coach, basically, rather than parenting, I suppose, and bringing up that positivity, creativity, resourcefulness, communication, connection with not only ourselves and our partners, but our children as well. So I love it. It is more of a brainstorming collective, and yeah, we get some pretty good results. So that's me. Now, let's go on to our topic, because this really resonates for all of us. And we're going to be discussing how to manage chronic pain and still have a positive attitude. But I think we need to be careful with regards to the positive attitude when so many people keep on saying to you, oh, look on the bright side, it's look at so and so, it's not as bad as everything. It's if you have a positive attitude, then it's not going to get to chronic stages, which, as we all know, doesn't always tend to be the case. So what I would love to hear from you guys is, what's your relationship with chronic pain and living with it from day to day?
Well, I was diagnosed with osteoarthritis about 10 years ago. And simple things like driving a car, pushing the trolley, shopping, taking care of the kids, were at times really challenging. And well, you need to carry on with your life, but still experiencing that pain, which people around you don't really quite understand. They would think it's just a back pain or shoulder pain or hand pain, but it's more than that. So I have personal experience with pain, but of course, excuse me. I always search for solutions, trying different modalities, different practitioners, different doctors. So, and then working through my journey through functional medicine principles of addressing root causes, working on my mental health, all of this helped me so much overcome the severity of the pain. And I have many, tools I could use whenever I'm experiencing the pain. And through my support for my clients who have chronic conditions and autoimmune conditions, pain is one of the issues they struggle with. So I get that. I understand it fully. And again, my support is holistic. It's mental, it is physical, it's lifestyle, it's the support, it's connecting them with specialists to help them, improve their symptoms. We don't say all the pain will be done forever, but you could really improve it and, reduce the frequency, reduce the severity, and and live life with a better quality for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Adele, what's your story with this?
Donna, for me, and I like that you brought in the positivity and that we're talking about the understanding. I've been diagnosed with myelopathy, so at times I've got pain, at sometimes I don't feel anything, numbness. So it's a whole lot of things that every day is different. So for me, it's really for people to understand that it's not just saying like mentioning a shoulder pain or something. It is that you physically can't do much. For me, walking is a struggle, but I need to stay positive. But I also need to have that acceptance of my situation. Because if I don't have the acceptance and I'm positive, I'm masking things. And like we say, life goes on. You need to really learn to live with it, and do things that I don't say test it, but go out and explore. I think that's more the word that I want to do. Explore different possibilities. Yeah. Explore how you can improve, and look after your whole body, not just your mind. Don't just exercise. You really have to take care of that complete package and make sure that you have the support to support you on your journey.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it is about finding those alternatives because once, I had, I've got osteoporosis, osteoarthritis, systemic lupus, fibromyalgia, I had leaky gut syndrome. I had, honestly, if I was a pet, a dog, and you took me to the vet, you'd put me down. It would be just like, but so when I started horse riding because I thought that would be a great exercise because there was other exercises that I had to stop as the pain was coming in. And then I ended up having a 3-car coming to the back of me. Though it wasn't fast, but I still got whiplash. And I didn't know that I had 2 slip discs and ended up having to have spinal surgery. So I had to stop doing the horse riding, which was my one way of getting out into nature and I love animals. And, so when that was taken away, it was so much more than just a healthy lifestyle and exercise. That was my safe space. That was my lovely place to go, mentally and physically. And that was really, really hard. But like you both said, I think the hard thing is when you don't know, before you get a diagnosis, mentally, it's turmoil because you just don't know what's wrong with you and you're getting thrown from one doctor to another doctor to another doctor. And the amount of times I've had doctors turn around and say, it's all in your head. You're not overweight. You look okay. So go see a psychiatrist. It's all in your head. So what's your take on that? Have you come up against those sort of comments?
Oh, so many times. It's been a journey even to get the acknowledgement and get investigation to understand the various issues I experienced throughout the past 20 years. And also, I hear it a lot from my clients that they don't feel heard, they don't feel acknowledged, and dismissed by doctors, unfortunately. Um, but my message is always trust your intuition, always seek different doctors, take second, third opinion, don't give up. You need to find what's happening in your body so that you can have the right plan to deal with it and support it. So,
For me personally, Donna, I started having small little symptoms and I left it. I actually ignored it. So for me, it is when that small things start popping up regularly, have it looked at, don't leave it. When I think I left it for maybe 2-3 years. And when I got to the doctors, it was a whole process to get MRI scans to see where the actual problem was. And my neurologist said to me at the end of the day, he says to me, we can't say what's the cause. We can't tell you where exactly the problem in your spinal cord is. That's why it's a broad spectrum myelopathy. And he said to me, it won't get worse, but it won't get better, but there's nothing we can do. And I think once someone makes a statement like that, don't believe them. I was told to stop driving. I was told he wanted to give me a wheelchair. And I said to him, listen, I can still walk. I don't need a wheelchair. Because if he put me in that wheelchair, it would have set me back another 2-3 years because I would have believed, okay, now I belong in a wheelchair. It is really trusting your body, knowing yourself, and get the third, second opinion. Go and investigate. Go study yourself. Do your own research because that's what I've done. And I know people say don't Google, but I went and I Googled, and I got a lot of information from there. And it's really learning. But also, when you go out to get that help, make sure that person is qualified. I went to the gym and I was allocated a personal trainer, and he started helping me and doing exercises, not knowing my whole condition. And he subsequently left where I was at the gym, and there's a new guy that came in and he asked me about my condition, and he says to me, but before I help you, I want your doctor's report. And I was like, okay, because that's what he's looked at. He needs to go look at the specifics before he let me do certain exercises. So it's very important, even if you go and see a coach or anyone, make sure that they've got the qualifications to help you. For me, that is key, because if you go to the wrong people, you will have a setback, and it can make your condition worse.
I need to jump on with that because I ended up doing, I think it was called Circuit Factory or Circuit Class or what have you. And anybody that knows me knows that I am a determined person and I will push through. And if I will do something, I will do it. If I can't do something, I don't give up. I look for an alternative. And I remember going to the circuit class, and this was before I got diagnosed with systemic lupus and the arthritis. And I obviously had a flare up and my joints were really sore and there was a lot of bending down. Now I've had about 8 operations, shoulders, knees, everything. And there was like a lot of burpees and then doing the kettlebell. And it was gripping hold of something. And I remember I couldn't do it. I was in too much pain. So I put it down and I started to do whatever alternative exercise. One of the instructors came round in front of so many people having a go at me. Stop making excuses. You can do this. Da, da, da. And I said, excuse me, I'm not right at the moment. I'm going to do. It's people like you that won't get the results. Oh, I tell you what, I didn't go back. I was absolutely furious. Absolutely furious. Yeah.
I'm sorry for your experience. Yes. Well, my advice after years of trying gyms and group classes, choose someone really qualified, either both private one-to-one or in a very small group. And you listen to your body. You don't need to feel pain. You push yourself, but not to feel pain. And the right coach, the fitness coach, would understand and will help you to adjust and be in the correct posture and position for whatever exercise you're doing, to do it safely. Because pushing yourself will cause more inflammation, and inflammation is what's causing all this pain in most cases anyways.
Yeah, absolutely. So what would you say would be one of your tips for going out and trying something new, and where do you draw the line? You kind of just hit on it, but
Yeah. Okay, there are so many tools and techniques and practitioners, but you need to find what works for you and have someone trusted, reliable in your area. Always check for reviews, check about their qualifications, if they have experience with your situation. I personally love osteopathy and dry needling. But
Okay.
again, if they are not experienced, they could cause nerve damage through the dry needling. So,
Yeah.
but it helps a lot. So for me, like when I found the right practitioner, yeah, I mean, oh goodness, like it would really help with the pain and for longer time. So this is one of the tools. And if you don't want to go there, just staying active physically is really important. So safe exercises like walking, swimming, Pilates, yoga, but again, not in a group class form, helps a lot, and generally should be safe, yeah, for anyone to do. Because if you decide not to move because you are in pain, the stiffness will cause even more stiffness, more pain, and it will become harder to start moving. And on the other side, if you keep moving, you are releasing the tensions, the inflammation. You're increasing the circulation in the body, which help relieve this condition. The happy hormones, the endorphins that would get produced through exercise, really act as natural painkillers.
Yeah.
So they bind with the opioid receptors in your brain, in your spinal cord. So instead of taking medications, the endorphins can be natural painkillers. But do the exercises safely. This is just one way, to help your body.
Yeah. And it's not just about doing the exercises, it's about just moving.
Moving.
And being in that space where you are feeling better, whether it's with somebody that uplifts you, and having music on, or being at your favorite place. It could be, at the park, at the beach, or where have you. So that makes a big difference. But also another thing, Garineh, do you have any tips on questions to ask? Because you've just raised a really important point. Now, I've not heard of dry needling before, and trying to find the right practitioner. What things should we look for, and what questions should we be asking to make sure this person is reputable?
Yeah, well, before you start the treatment, yes, you need to interview first of all, do your research, check their bio, check their credentials. They need to have specific training on using the dry needling, for example, or whatever modality in osteopathy they are using. And then have the conversation with them, like what is their experience with this, how many clients they see, what kind of issues they help resolve, what to expect from this treatment, what symptoms could come up possibly, and do you want to take the risk or not, is there any risk factors. So having the conversation and asking questions is important. You should not shy away from asking questions. If they are confident, they will tell you all about it.
Yeah, and also, sometimes our friends or whoever, your work colleagues may suggest somebody. Don't just take it on their word, because they may have not done that research beforehand, and what they're going for to see this person, it may be completely different to what you need and that level of expertise. So whilst it's great to have friends and colleagues input here. It's not an excuse not to do your research. Absolutely. And I think that goes for everything in life. And Adele, what would you like to add?
For me, Donna, is listen to your body. Don't ignore it. If you are doing something new that you just started and you feel your body is not reacting to it the way it should, maybe give it 1 or 2 more sessions. And if it's still the same, pull back. But that also comes in with your research and having that communication with that practitioner to tell you, listen, your results will maybe show only in 6 weeks. How many sessions do you get to see, in 6 weeks to get to start seeing your results? Because you might still be getting rid of it. So don't give up too soon, but don't let it go on too long. Certain exercises that you do, if it's not working for you, stop. It's for me, when I go to gym and I feel like now I'm getting uncomfortable, I go and I sit. And then I wait for my children until they're finished. Or if I feel now I can go on, I go and I do something else. That's maybe not less on my legs, maybe just my arms. It's just like really listen to your body. Your body will tell you, I'm not comfortable with this. This is not working. I'm in more pain.
Yeah.
And I think it's something we often neglect to do, is to really listen to ourselves and our intuition. That's what I would add, but I agree with both of you. Is do that research, see where you're going, look at new things that you can try for your condition, investigate it, and test it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I want to add something, because Adele, when you mentioned earlier about that you used Google. You can use Google, but then whatever website you decide to read, it needs to be a reliable website. So, universities, non-hospitals, research databases, not just a random blog, that, yeah. So, yes, exactly. So you could Google but find reliable sources for the information.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like in the UK, there's NHS that you can go on, and they've got loads of great resources. And in fact, I think after we've finished this and it's done, maybe we can put some stuff in the comments if we know of any reliable websites and links that people can go and do some research. I have to say, one of the things that was a bit of a struggle for me, and I don't know if you guys went through this, was I also think it was where I was and the place in my life at that time. When I was diagnosed with systemic lupus and being told it was in my muscles, my joints, and my bones, and my skin, and I have to be really, really careful if I get a high fever or an infection, because if I do, then it can go to my heart or to my brain. So when I was told this, okay, it did scare the shit out of me. I was going through a divorce. I nearly got kicked out of was being pushed to leave the country due to divorce situations, having 3 children, and the stress that I was under was tremendous. And also ended up, having precancerous cells in my cervix, and ended up having a hysterectomy all around the same time. So having that diagnosis was so scary at that point, because I was looking at my 3 children thinking, if anything happened to me, what would happen to them? But also I flipped it as to, all right, that is something that could happen in the future, but it's not happening today. So what I'd love to hear from you guys is, did you go through that fear and then it's just like, right, no, let's put things into perspective. What can I do moving forward?
For me, Donna, I did. When I was officially diagnosed, I basically, the company that I worked for wasn't happy with my health. Although I was healthy, but they weren't happy because I can't walk up and down stairs very quickly. And things like that. So I was under tremendous stress. I didn't have support from my kids' father, so I was the only parent there for them. financially, emotionally. So you have to flip that switch. And, you know, I come with the mindset, it's happening for a reason. I might not understand it now, but there is a better result that will come from this. And that actually got me through the situation. And that's where a lot of my personal development kicked in. The courses that I was busy with, the support system that I had at that point, it really took me through that. And for me, it's key to have that support system that you can trust. That you can, it's not people telling you what to do, it's just people being there that say, I'm here for you, I listen to you. And they give you that guidance, not advice, because I believe in guidance, because advice is not going to help me. Give me your guidance. That's what I ask for, and that support. So that's what got me through that whole transition period. And then also making future plans for what if something really worse happens in the future. For instance, life insurances and things like that. Make sure that everything there is in order, because that also relieves stress from you.
Well, stress has big impact in making chronic pain worse, for sure, because of the release of cortisol hormones, which leads to inflammation and damage. So I love it that you mentioned your support group. This is really important, so you don't feel isolated and alone in your experience, because that would be depressing. Like if you feel you're the only person in the world, going through this. So find the right tribe or the group to support you. It's important. And also mindfulness. So like you mentioned, Adele, not thinking about the worst case and the future. And also Donna mentioned, don't think of the worst case. That might happen in the future, might. Let's focus on the now. Being mindful of what you have control over, being realistic of what you can achieve and how you can live your life, and just stay in the present. Accept the diagnosis and focus on what you can do to improve your quality of life and deal with the situation.
I think it has to be careful who it comes from when they're saying things like that, though. If it's from somebody who is not walking the path that you're walking and you're dealing with, and then you've got somebody, for example, somebody who's happily married or supposedly happily married. They're married, they've got that security, they're not having any major health issues. And for them to turn around and say, stop being pessimistic, or don't think, if you're not actually going through this, everything okay? Because I saw the screen shifting.
You were breaking up. Sorry, I didn't hear the last minute.
Yeah. Okay. Something's gone wrong with the internet.
Okay. Yeah, we can hear you now. So you were mentioning about married couples or supposedly happy couples.
Yeah. So if somebody who is not having health issues or going through all those other stresses then tells you to, don't be so down, or in the dumps, and cheer up, you're not there yet, you can still do this, it can get you defensive. If it comes from somebody else, and obviously it's the way it's worded, who is living with chronic pain, who has been through all the mental stresses as well, it is going to land a lot better. So I think people need to be careful. Whilst they may mean it nicely, if you haven't lived or gone through this, it's very hard for you to give advice about it.
Don't know if I can add to that. It is having that correct support structure, maybe join a support group in what you're diagnosed with, or get the correct support. You have got friends or your close circle that will support you in any case, but don't fall for the advice. if it feels like people are starting to break you down and you get defensive, then I say put those boundaries in place.
Yeah.
But also for me, something that I also just want to add in is talk about your condition, talk about your situation, so people can understand more, because you might have less energy, you might have a bad day, you might do things slower than normal. But if people aren't aware that you are having a condition, is to be open and honest about that, because that also is going to increase support and empathy for you.
Yes, that's an important point, to share what's happening and set the expectations. I mean,
Yeah.
in one way, um, it's great to have that, support. You're fine. It's not big deal. Just, come out, socialize, do this, do that. It's nice to have that too, so that you don't, stay in a bubble and, crumble up. But at the same time, you need someone who understands what you're going through and gives you that. It's a different type of support and reassurance and, comfort that, yes, I mean, how you could get through it. And maybe, they share their experiences of what worked for them, so that you would benefit from that. So it's important to have both. I mean, appreciate, whatever family and friends they could offer you based on what they know, what they experience, but have people who are going through whatever it is that you are going through.
Yeah. Yeah. I'd also say I think it's very important to be open and honest at work, but also be very careful how much you do share and who you share it with. I remember sharing something that I was going through with the acting Senko at the school, and it was a private conversation, and I ended up crying, and I was very vulnerable, and usually I'm quite strong and guarded, and I just told her the truth. A couple of days later, during a staff meeting, she brought something up from that conversation in front of everyone. So, yeah, that trust was broken big time. So, and I was made to feel quite embarrassed and ashamed, which at that point I felt. Later on, I didn't. But that was very difficult. So also make sure you've got those processes in place, that if this does happen, what would you do and how would you handle it? Because it is important for you to be vulnerable and true to yourself. And if somebody breaks that trust, it's also your responsibility to hold them accountable for that. So, yeah. Okay, so what would you say is the biggest thing that stops you from opening up to people and maybe telling them, is there a group of people that you struggle to let in and to know everything that you're going through? Could be your partner, could be family members, it could be work.
Well, there are a few reasons. You might not want to worry that person because they already have enough on their plate. But that doesn't help the relationship, because there will be tension unknowingly. So I always advise to have open conversation. And also, some people, they don't want the look of pity, oh, you have this condition, oh, I feel sorry for you, and this doesn't help.
Yeah.
This doesn't help. So that's why you need to choose the person that you can trust, who will understand and support in the way they can without feeling sorry. Oh,
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
For me, it's understanding. People that is not have that condition don't really fully understand what you're going through. I've got a friend, online friend, that didn't see me, and as I picked the person up at the airport, and as I was driving, I was struggling, and I was like, "Can these cars just move?" Because I was in quite a bit of pain that day. And when we got out, and the person actually saw me walking, he says to me, "But Adele, you're really struggling." I said, "I know. He said to me, I didn't know it was this bad because I did speak about it. I openly speak about it, and I make jokes about it when I fall because you have to see the funny side of it. And it's really, people don't really understand until they either see you struggling or people
Yeah.
just ignore it. I can say my brother just thinks I can do a lot of things that I really can't, and he doesn't see it. And I always say, but wait, one day you might be in this situation, then you will understand. For me, it's broadly, it's people don't understand if they don't have your condition.
Yeah, and I think it's quite hard if you are that kind of person who does mask it, who does push themselves through a lot of the pain. I'm very much the same. I will keep going, and you won't know if I'm hurting unless you ask me to pick up a pencil or something off the floor. Then I might struggle. But and it gets to the point where you can keep going, but then you hit this wall, and it's like, I cannot keep this up any longer, and I need to get out. I need to go home. I need to take everything off and get horizontal and peace and quiet. I remember that happening quite a few times for me, especially when I go out into crowds. I don't like crowds. And if I'm hurting and I'm trying to be nice and polite, and then it's like somebody slaps me, and it's just like, right, I'm going. I've got to go. And that's it. I exit. I scarf off. So, right, let's flipping this. Okay, so we've talked about finding a tribe and finding people to support us. I do want to raise something, because I have seen this quite a few times about coaches who work with chronic pain clients or what have you. What are your tips and suggestions about verifying their qualifications? And Garineh, you may know a little bit about this with regards to health coaches. Where do they go and get accredited? What should we be looking out for as well for those?
Okay, well, I mean, you've been sharing lately your frustrations with some life coaches, and it is the same with health coaches. Not everyone is properly trained and have the credentials, and not everyone is ethical in the way they are supporting their clients. So you need to do your due diligence, and you've done few posts about how to choose a coach, which,
Yeah.
check their credentials. Do they have specific training for your issues? How long they've done it? Who's the organization that licensed them? Do they actually have a business license to work in this country? Yeah. So the list of questions, yes, you need to check with the qualifications, and again, you need to have that first conversation also with the coach before committing to a package or a program, whatever they are offering. And if you don't fully understand what they are doing and what are the principles and what's the science behind it, then just no, don't go. I mean, you need to be careful
Yeah.
if there's anything physically involved. And also even like mental health. I mean, it is big deal. Stress has big impact, so we need to support the stress reduction, tools and techniques, support the mental health generally, but not everyone is qualified to deal with mental health. So there are psychologists, there are psychiatrists, there are different therapists, CBT, so check the correct options and the people with the right credentials.
Yeah, I have to say, I saw a post from somebody who's a health coach, and they said they did their certification through a reputable academy or what have you. So I thought, okay, so let me have a check. So I had a look, and it turns out there's several layers, several programs, and the first program is like your foundation. It's an awareness introduction. So basically, from that course, you cannot say that you're a qualified, let's say, health coach. You can only say that you are a practitioner once you've done level 1, level 2. But this coach didn't state that. And that coach is saying that they're qualified from that place, but they're not, because they've only done the foundation course. So anybody reaching out to that coach is being misinformed.
Yes, and there are many organizations, many academies. So, like, I cannot give you names of these are the specific ones. You can, check the grads of this academy. But there are plenty of them, and they offer short courses and they offer 3 to 5 years programs. So you need to check what actually, their credentials. Ask for their certifications and understand like how many hours they spent studying whatever modality they are in. You can have all the questions, and you can ask any questions you have. I mean,
yeah, absolutely. And then you can always check with the school or the college or the academy that they trained with to make sure that they are qualified to actually treat you on this.
Anyway, as a coach, we don't treat. We're providing the guidance. We're accountability buddies. We're giving some education, but we're not treating.
No. Yes. Thank you for highlighting that. Adele.
You're making me laugh now, but for me, it is do your research. If you want to see a wellness coach, and you maybe you're newly diagnosed, or you've, like me, I haven't used a wellness coach, and I've been like this for quite a few years. So it's go do your research. Go see what a wellness coach actually does.
Yeah.
Go see what all these acupuncture people, what it is actually about. It's all about educating yourself. And then when you decide, okay, now I'm going to get a wellness coach, I'm just taking an example, check the credentials, check testimonials. I would even go so far as to research the organization that they did their certification through, because it could be one of these fly-by-night people that's got a course which just covers basics, like a level 1, for instance.
Yeah.
Really just go and do your research first and make sure that you connect with that coach. You might not connect with the person, and that's also not going to, you have to have that rapport with that person going forward. See what the person's like. Are they honest? Are they open with their credentials? Are they just saying, I'm disqualified, I've got experience? Maybe they've got the same condition and they decided they're a wellness coach. And now from their personal experience, they are trying to coach you. So it's really just educating yourself. That for me is a huge factor.
Yes, that's an important point. I mean, some people do have personal experience. Okay, it's valuable that they are sharing their journey and what they experience and what helped them, but what helped them does not necessarily help everyone with the same condition. And through functional medicine, it's very personalized approach. You need to find the root causes for each person. Symptoms can appear anywhere, but then you need to dig deep to understand what is the underlying cause. So having the experience means, okay, they will have, more empathy, they will understand your struggles, but doesn't mean they have, the training to actually support others.
Yeah. And the other big thing as well, and this is why I love and respect you so much, Garineh, is you're so invested in your professional development, and you're always striving to learn, to do better, to grow. And for me, that is a huge tick and a testament to your integrity and your professionalism. So, I am so grateful that I know you. So I don't have to deal with the other donkeys.
Thank you, Donna. Thank you. No, I mean, I think I'm fascinated with science and the research, and the more you learn about the body and the health and the natural ways to support the body. Like, it's so fascinating. So the more you learn, the more you want to learn. And there's so much knowledge. Of course, no one can have all the knowledge, but yeah, I like whatever I see issues in my clients and also that resonates with my conditions. That's where I try to focus and get more learning.
Yeah, you do great support, and I just love it. As I said, I even, asked you to see my daughter when she was going through some health issues. So yeah, I can highly recommend you. Ladies, before we close, what I would love to do is find out any, give us some tips for best lifestyle tips, maybe health and mindset.
Yeah. Okay. Let me then try to focus on the lifestyle part and then the physical health. Eating nutrient dense anti-inflammatory foods, like this is big one, and most diseases start in the gut. Chronic pain, most cases start in the gut. um, your gut health, the microbiome, the organisms that live there, they have big impact on your immune system, on your nervous system. The vagus nerve is the biggest nerve that we have, which connects the gut with the brain. And 90% of the communication is from the gut to the brain. The neurotransmitters are made in the gut, most of it. So you need to take care of the gut, avoid processed junk food, focus on anti-inflammatory, different colors of the vegetables and the fruits, quality protein, healthy fats. This is big, big, big. Prioritizing sleep. Oh goodness, like I don't know why people have FOMO and they don't want to miss the nightlife or silly TV shows or maybe important TV shows, but staying up late is not worth it. It has a toll on your body. You regulate hormones, you repair the tissues, you deal with the inflammation while you're sleeping. So sleep is important. Exercise, it's big, it's important for circulation, it's important for muscle strength to support the bones as well. Many women who have osteoporosis, they're just concerned about taking calcium supplements. But if you have strong muscles, these will support the bones so they don't break easily. So strength training is important. You don't have to go to the gym and lift weights, but there are other things you can do. Just be physically active, use cans and water bottles and do some exercises. But again, learn how to do the exercises safely with a coach at the beginning, qualified coach, so you don't harm yourself. Social life is important. Stress management, I'm sure you will cover that, Adele, but mental health is super important to support the physical body, and they are all connected after all.
Love it.
Garineh actually covered most of the points that I wanted to bring up. But on the mental side, I'll just go mental side is relax. Do your breathing exercises. For me, it's going for a short walk. If you really feel like today I'm really stressed, my body is stiff, I've got stiffness, I've got pain, try and take a 2-minute, 5-minute walk just to relax yourself. Go out in nature. Start journaling. Get creative. Maybe you want to sit and draw. If you like drawing, be creative. Start drawing because it takes your mind off of things. Maybe build a puzzle. If you like me, you're not autistic, get yourself a jigsaw puzzle, build the puzzle, because that is also for me a form of meditation. Because you're going to concentrate and you're going to forget about all the other things all around you, and you're going to be more focused. Again, eat healthy. If you feel you need that 5-minute break, go lie down, get horizontal, like Donna says. I do that often. If I come back from the gym, they know it's 10 minutes lying flat down, then I'll be fine. If I stood for a long time, I can't stand for a long time, but if I stood and I really feel now I can't really move a lot, go lie down. Just don't go lie down for the rest of the day. Limit yourself. Have that healthy lifestyle, and listen to your body. I keep on saying that because that is so key for me, because that is how I get through every single day. I listen to my body. If I need to get vitamins, I know exactly when my magnesium is low because all my muscles start cramping. I have one magnesium and I'm fine. I've got magnesium spray that I use because I don't like tablets. So if I don't take a tablet, I'll use the magnesium spray. It absorbs better and faster. So it's really just knowing yourself as well.
Yes. And the important point about the nutrients. Vitamin D is important. Omega-3 fatty acids are important. Magnesium is important. But again, the quality of the supplements makes a big difference. Most commercial ones are just, you're paying for expensive urine. So you better do your research even on the brands and on the quality, on the additives included in these vitamins. Better do test your blood and then see your levels and how much of these vitamins you need. There are great agents, anti-inflammatory agents like curcumin, like boswellia. So essential oils also like tea tree. There are many tools you could use, but just do your research. Important to do your research or work with someone who knows about these things.
Exactly. And it does become overwhelming because we do say do your research, but fully understand how overwhelming and confusing that can get, and you don't know where to start. So if we can help you in any way, please feel free to reach out. I would definitely say my tips are joy and community. Connection. Find that community where you feel connected. It is so important. Relationships. If you're staying at home and all your interaction is online, it stifles you. Get out, walk, go and meet somebody. You're exchanging that energy, and there is nothing more empowering and uplifting than to be with somebody who makes you feel good and puts a smile on your face. But that doesn't mean that you're not going to have 5-10 minutes, brain dump of, oh, this is rubbish. But then you end up laughing. And that is one of my biggest tips, is have that support system, whether it's just one or two people or a group of people that you can really go and let loose. So yeah, that is definitely for me. And I reiterate everything else that you guys have said about, looking after your gut, listening to your body. One of the golden rules is if it's in a packet, in a can, or in a jar, don't have it. Which out goes my Nescafe, but there you go.
Oh, please get rid of the Nescafe. Oh,
no, I do like my Nescafe Gold.
Get real beans, clean, grind them yourself, and make your coffee.
Donna, I'm going to end something that you've now just said, getting rid of things, not the packet stuff. Bring your willpower in, because that is what you are really going to need when you start really limiting you on things that you actually do enjoy. So you're going to have that willpower.
Again, it's different alternatives. Is it willpower or determination? I can't remember what I did. I think it was Jihan that mentioned this on another Three Coaches, One Topic. She said, if anything, you can write a letter. How we do, we write a letter to ourselves, our future selves. Write a letter from your body to you. So what would your body say? And for me, when she mentioned that was so powerful, because that's where your body is going to say to you, you don't need this. You don't need the McDonald's. You can, make it yourself with, what have you. I'm just using that as an example. Don't sit in front of the TV watching Netflix or what have you. It's a sunny day, go outside. So write that letter from your body to you to help give you that motivation to lead a better lifestyle that you deserve.
Beautiful. Love the idea.
It's a good one, isn't it?
That's very good.
Oh, no, thank you, Jihan. She's useful sometimes. No, I'm joking. I love her to bits. Okay, ladies, on that note, I can see that the sound's going all funny. So I will bid you all good night. Adele, Garineh, thank you again so very much for joining us.
Welcome, everyone. Have a good day.
Have a good day, everyone, and thank you for having me on.
You're welcome. Thanks, guys. Take care.